Do you guys remember? You guys were kids and you were playing with your friends, siblings, and they break your stuff. Let's say your favorite toy, or they eat your favorite sandwich, and you get mad, and all you want to do is just get them back. And when you do get them back, it's easier to forgive them. According to Miller, he says it's far easier to forgive an enemy after you've gotten even with them. There's 3 reasons why you would forgive someone after you got even with them. Is one reason is you feel satisfied. They gotten you, they hurt you, they did something to you, and you do the same thing back, and you feel better. And the second reason is you level with them. They hurt you, and you do the same thing back. So in your mind, you feel like you've done the right thing, because they feel the same as what you did. And the third reason is I don't know, but well, I kind of want to connect this to life. In life, you're gonna have a lot of enemies. A lot of people hurt you. A lot of people do bad things to you, but you gotta learn to forgive. But don't get even with them. Yeah, this quote is true, but I kind of don't agree with them. Like, we shouldn't do this. We shouldn't get even with people. We should just forgive them without getting even with them. Yeah, kind of rambling. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, Beruk, you start off with a visualization of wanting to get back. I think that's a pretty good idea. I think it would be better if you have a story, for instance. You can remember one of those times when, in fact, that little brother of yours did, in fact, do something that you're talking about, eat your sandwich or took your toy or whatever it was. You're going to think of one of those situations and you're going to say, why didn't I talk about that? Because wanting to get back at people, I think, is a natural behavior. Your point of view is not exactly clear. I know what the subject is that you're talking about, but the point of view that you have on it isn't clear. At the end, you give it a little bit more perspective, so I think that helps in the summary at the conclusion of the speech, but at the beginning of the speech, it's problematic. I thought you were starting out well with a preview. You said, you want to be able to get even because it'll give you a sense of satisfaction, and it's also a way of leveling the situation with another person. You couldn't think of a third thing to talk about, so I wasn't too worried about that. But I was kind of thinking you were going to come back and talk about those things. It turned out that the preview was actually the body of the speech. You weren't that wasn't just the setup, that was the speech. And so you didn't tell me, what's that sense of satisfaction that you get, or give me an example of one of those situations where I did get back at somebody and I felt so good about that. Or it could be a story that you saw, a movie that came along that illustrates those kinds of things where, the world's full of revenge stories that people feel like there's some reason that they need to get back. It's not that hard to find a whole bunch of them where Liam Neeson is out to kill somebody because they've offended him, that sort of thing. And you cross the line here, and I've got a certain set of skills, and I'm going to make sure that you pay, that sort of thing. And you can tell a story from a movie as an illustration of that sense of satisfaction. The notion of it being, that you are leveling with somebody else makes it sound like it's in a relationship. If you are friendships or acquaintances or coworkers or something like that, that it's important to be able to get even with somebody, because otherwise you lose status and power in the relationship. And you're always, you don't want to be in that position. You don't want people to think that they can take advantage of you. You don't want them to think that you're an easy mark. So you've got to stand up for yourself sometimes. And sometimes the way to do that is to get back at them somehow. Embarrass them, undermine them in some way, draw attention to their flaws in a way that they drew attention to your flaws, whatever it is that they did. And here's an here's an illustration about maybe where that's true at work or in a romantic relationship. I don't know that romantic relationships are exactly where you want to go. I'm going to get even with my boyfriend or girlfriend because they screwed me over, you made me go to that stupid movie, and now it's my turn to get even. You have to see this. That sort of thing. I'm not sure. At the end, you come back and you have a different point that you're making. I'm not exactly sure getting even is a good idea. Wow, after the 2 points that you set up, it sounded like that's exactly what you're going to say. It is a good idea. It's an important thing, and then you went the opposite direction. Presentation issues. Your voice is low-key. It's controlled for the most part. I do think you need a little bit more variety. There are a couple of places where you have awkward pauses, obviously, because you're trying to think of the next thing that you're going to say. Cross your arms a little bit uncomfortably, like it's almost offensive at one point where you're doing that sort of thing, and I can't think of what I'm going to say, so let me protect myself, cover up that way. You break contact with the audience several times. I thought you started off talking to us pretty effectively, but whenever you get stuck, it's like I'm going to look at the ground and try and think of the next thing to say. And that's understandable when you don't have any content, but you need to try and fake it a little bit more. I appreciated at the end that you had a point of view. Like I said, it seemed different than what you started off with, but at least you're trying to finish off with a clear statement of what you wanted us to know at the end. All right, thank you.